It has now been over 3 years since Sony launched the A7 IV, and during this time, the camera world has witnessed rapid developments from Sony's competitors. Despite this, Sony's silence regarding the highly anticipated successor, the Sony A7V, has become increasingly noticeable and even puzzling to many in the photography community. The story behind the delay is far more complex than simple postponement, and the timeline reveals insights that go beyond mere product scheduling hiccups. Today, on Alt Buzz, we delve into the reasons why the Sony A7V remains unreleased and why this prolonged wait may actually work to Sony's advantage in the long run. When the A7 IV debuted back in October 2021, it made an immediate impression on hybrid shooters, thanks to its well-balanced specifications and versatile performance. It quickly became a go-to model for photographers and videographers who needed a reliable camera capable of excelling in both stills and video. Fast forward to today, and nearly 3.5 years have passed without any official announcements about the next generation, a gap that is unusually long in the fast-paced mirrorless camera market. Sony traditionally follows a 2 to 3 year refresh cycle for its Alpha series, making this silence particularly odd. For context, the gap between the A7 III and the A7 IV was just under 3 years, and before that, the cycle was even tighter. So what is really happening behind the scenes at Sony? If you've been active in photography forums or social media communities lately, you've probably seen the mounting frustration. The question, "Where is the A7V?" has become a common refrain among photographers eager for Sony's next big hybrid camera. Meanwhile, rivals like Canon, Nikon, and Panasonic have continued to push forward with new hybrid models that are attracting plenty of attention. However, this extended period of quiet from Sony might not be a sign of problems or stagnation. Instead, it may indicate that Sony is taking a more deliberate and thoughtful approach to product development, aiming to deliver something truly refined rather than rushing to keep pace. Industry insiders have observed a notable shift in Sony's strategy since 2022. Unlike the past, when new models would come out at a steady clip, there is now evidence that Sony is focusing on quality over speed, carefully addressing the shortcomings of previous models before moving forward. This is especially true given the feedback the A7 IV received regarding thermal management issues. Users reported overheating warnings after only around 30 minutes of continuous 4K video recording in warm conditions, a problem that understandably concerned many content creators who rely on extended recording sessions. Sony appears committed to not repeating these mistakes with the upcoming A7V, opting for a more meticulous development process. Supporting this theory are recent developments observed in Sony's product registrations and patent filings. In February of this year, a new product code, WW270055, was spotted in regulatory databases. Based on Sony's usual coding patterns, this product is widely believed to be the Sony A7V. Further evidence comes from recent patents filed by Sony covering advanced cooling systems designed for compact mirrorless bodies. These patents also reveal innovations in sensor readout technology aimed at drastically reducing rolling shutter effects, a known limitation in the A7 IV that can distort fast-moving subjects or cause undesirable video artifacts. These innovations suggest that Sony is engineering the A7V to overcome key performance challenges encountered in the A7 IV, especially for videographers and action shooters. Another revealing aspect is Sony's shifting focus since late 2021. Rather than solely concentrating on mid-range hybrid cameras, Sony has invested heavily in two specialized categories: high-end cinema cameras through its FX series and creator-focused cameras via the ZV line. The FX series caters to professional filmmakers demanding cutting-edge video tools, while the ZV series targets content creators and vloggers who need user-friendly, versatile cameras. The success of flagship models like the FX3 and the ZV-E1 has influenced Sony's resource allocation, signaling a strategic emphasis on dominating both ends of the market spectrum. This dual-pronged approach makes perfect sense. By solidifying its leadership in both professional cinema gear and entry-level creator devices, Sony is effectively laying the groundwork for the A7V to serve as a powerful bridge between these segments. The A7V is not simply a delayed successor, it is being positioned as a sophisticated hybrid tool that blends the strengths of Sony's cinema-level technologies with the accessibility and flexibility required by hybrid shooters. Current insider reports suggest a potential release window around mid-2025, likely in June or July. Timing the launch for the summer allows Sony to capitalize on a major announcement cycle, while also giving the ZV-1 series time to maintain its market momentum without overshadowing the new flagship hybrid. When the Sony A7V eventually debuts, it promises to be much more than a minor update. Trusted sources indicate that the camera will feature a 33-megapixel full-frame backside illuminated CMOS sensor. Although the resolution matches that of the A7 IV, the sensor architecture is entirely new. This redesign boasts significantly faster readout speeds, which should reduce the rolling shutter effect by as much as 60%. For photographers and videographers, this means crisper action shots and more natural motion rendering in video, especially during fast-paced scenes. Powering the A7V will be Sony's next-generation processor, rumored to be either an advanced version of the Bian's XR chip or potentially Sony's first AI-driven imaging processor. This next-level computing capability promises meaningful improvements in computational photography. Enhanced subject recognition and tracking are expected, enabling the camera to identify not only faces and eyes but also specific objects with remarkable precision. This development could greatly benefit portrait photographers, wildlife shooters, and videographers alike by improving autofocus reliability and creative control. In terms of sensitivity, the A7V is expected to support a native ISO range from 100 to 51,200, expandable up to an astonishing 204,800. This enhancement suggests roughly one-stop better low-light performance compared to the A7 IV, with cleaner shadow details and less noise in dim environments. Such improvements will be welcomed by photographers who frequently work in challenging lighting conditions, such as event, wedding, or documentary shooters. Video capabilities on the Sony A7V look particularly impressive. Reports suggest the camera will support 4K recording at up to 120 frames per second, utilizing 10-bit 4:2:2 color sampling recorded internally. There are also strong indications of 6K oversampling being used to produce sharper and more detailed 4K footage, a feature that could set the A7V apart from many competitors. The image stabilization system is expected to improve significantly, offering up to 8 stops of shake reduction, compared to 5.5 stops on the A7 IV. Combined with the advanced video specs, this makes the A7V a formidable handheld video production tool, capable of meeting the demands of professional content creators. The viewfinder and rear display are also slated for notable upgrades. The electronic viewfinder will reportedly feature a 3.69 million OLED panel, offering clearer and more detailed previews. The rear LCD screen remains fully articulating but is expected to see improvements in brightness and touch responsiveness, enhancing usability in bright outdoor environments and for vlogging or self-recording. Connectivity options are expected to be comprehensive, including dual card slots supporting both CF Express Type A and SD UHS-2 formats, enabling fast and flexible media management. The camera will likely include USB-C 10 gigabits per second for quicker tethered shooting, Wi-Fi 6E for faster wireless transfers, and Bluetooth 5.3 for seamless device pairing. These modern connectivity features are essential for today's workflows, allowing creators to efficiently manage their files and control the camera remotely. One of the most critical improvements for long-form video creators is Sony's complete redesign of the thermal management system. The overheating issues of the A7 IV during extended 4K recording sessions are well documented, and it appears Sony has tackled this head-on. The A7V is rumored to include a new passive cooling architecture with heat dissipation channels that enable virtually unlimited recording times under typical shooting conditions. This upgrade could be a game-changer for videographers who rely on uninterrupted capture during events, interviews, and documentaries. The Sony A7V is not meant to appeal to every type of photographer or videographer indiscriminately. Instead, Sony is targeting specific user profiles with this camera. Hybrid creators who demand strong performance in both stills and video will find the A7V particularly compelling. Content creators who need to switch fluidly between photography and videography will appreciate the balance of features, reliability, and versatility. YouTubers and indie filmmakers stand to benefit from the enhanced video specs and improved thermal management, while wedding and documentary photographers will enjoy the refined autofocus system and boosted low-light capabilities. Moreover, Sony appears to be courting owners of older A7 models, such as the A7 III or the A7C Mark II, especially those who skipped the A7 IV, offering a substantial upgrade path for these users. Still, the broader question lingers: is Sony playing a smart long game with the A7V, or are they at risk of falling behind? By 2025, hybrid shooters have more options than ever, and Sony faces fierce competition from Canon's R series and Nikon's Z line, both of which have made significant advances. Meanwhile, Fujifilm continues to innovate aggressively in the APS-C segment, keeping the pressure on Sony to deliver something truly compelling. If the A7V launches as expected in mid-2025, it won't be just another hybrid mirrorless camera. It will represent Sony's deliberate, thoughtful response to years of industry innovation and shifting user expectations. While the wait for the A7V might feel frustrating to many enthusiasts and professionals today, it could ultimately reflect a strategic decision by Sony to observe competitor missteps and carefully refine their offering. By waiting, they've positioned themselves to deliver a camera that meets the evolving needs of creators rather than simply following last year's trends. This approach, if successful, will reaffirm Sony's leadership in the mirrorless camera market and give hybrid shooters a powerful new tool to push their creative boundaries. As always, if you want to stay on top of the latest camera news and in-depth tech analysis, subscribe to AltBuzz, leave your thoughts in the comments, and consider supporting the channel for exclusive insights. Until next time, keep creating.